Hello, hello. Welcome back to Sandpit Diaries episode 2.
Woohoo! Welcome back.
I'm Andy,
And I'm Cheryl.
and today we have our first guest host, and we're so excited.
Yeah.
We actually as we explained previously, we would have a new guest each for each episode. But this week, as our first guest host, we have two people. We have BG and SQ from Urban.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Mohammed Suleiman, aka BG, as Andy said. I'm the head of marketing and artist management of Urban Entertainment.
Hi everyone, I'm Saqer Khalid. I'm the director and head of production of Urban Entertainment.
Nice. Welcome to Sandpit Diaries, guys.
Thank you for having us.
You are our second guest on our podcast. So we are, our first guest actually for our second
Yeah.
podcast.
We're so excited for this. I mean,
Super excited to be here.
yeah.
That's so sweet. So, tell us a little about Urban music.
First of all, thank you for having us over here. It's a great pleasure to be here. Urban Entertainment is a local platform for music and urban city life, modern city life culture, focused on capitalizing on the market movement and opportunities that we've seen develop over the past 10 years.
Wow. And how did you, because this is really interesting. We were really excited to have you guys on the podcast because I think we're all about how we can sort of promote the stories of kind of expats doing amazing things out here. And when Andy kind of got in touch with me, she was like, I really want to have these guys on our podcast. They've got a really cool story to tell. So we were just really keen to hear more about it. So it sounds like, how do you guys know each other and how did it all start off?
So I was born in Abu Dhabi, and I grew up in Abu Dhabi. And my family are still based there. And I moved to Dubai 2006 for university. And I'm a songwriter, I'm a lyricist. I've been rapping for how many years now?
15?
No, 17.
17.
Okay.
Yeah.
17 years. It started as poetry, and then as I grew and developed, it turned to lyrics and rhymes and rhyme structures and school and parties and performing at parties, house parties and things like that in Abu Dhabi. And I started recording when I was at that age, 16. I'm 33 years old now. In London, in York Street Studios, West London, Westminster. And I learned a few things. I learned the importance of editing. I would book the studio from 8 in the morning to 8 p.m. That was we'd go there for summer vacations and summer breaks. And I'd book my studio from 8 to 8, and I learned the importance of editing. But furthermore, I learned the importance of having a passion.
Yeah, lovely.
And then I came to Dubai and, went to university over here, built my studio and, little home setup. And once I graduated, joined the corporate life, got some business experience, and I left music for about how many years? 6 years, 7 years, did not touch a single beat, a single song.
Yeah.
And that was quite a turning point in my life. So I know BG from, coming back to your question, I know BG, I don't want to drag this on.
It's all right.
I know BG from mutual friends. We got in touch. You got in touch with me a few years back.
Yeah. This is the thing. I saw what SQ always he's always there talkative about the urban culture, the music, the hip hop scene, and I was always following his posts and social media. So that's the time I had at the same time I was doing a lot of music management in the city. So I was like, I need to talk to this guy. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was an organic conversation, and we just kicked it off from there. So that was back in 2000 and end of 2017.
No, that was before.
That was even before. That was even before.
Yeah.
Then you traveled, yeah. So
that was even before.
so yeah. So just you can carry on the whole.
I resigned, and I always had the dream to go to New York City. I was that New York dream. So, so I went to New York, spent, New York winters are the best for me. Yeah. So,
Bit different from Amsterdam.
yeah, New York winters are made for winners. Okay. So I went there. I lived there for about 4 or 5 months, recording, making music, getting networking and things like that. And I believe then I came back, and then we retouched base again, and we had some serious conversations on the market, our experiences, our passions, the vision. I think the vision was still not.
It wasn't clear.
It wasn't. We were just building that chemistry. I think.
Yeah, the chemistry. Yeah.
That was building chemistry and seeing what tool sets we can provide with each other, and here we are. I guess it took us a year building this company up. I lean on him with a few. Well, not a lot more than a few skill sets. Okay.
It's fairly integral.
Yeah.
And it's mutual, and it's vice versa. So.
And then Urband was born. So tell us about that. What is it? And tell us about it for some of our listeners that may not know too much.
So growing up here, we've always experienced international hype. Don't want to sound too politically correct, being imported, right?
Yeah.
Sort of like mainstream fashions. And over the years, we've realized that there is a genuine market in genuine musicians, genuine from all across the world. This is a melting pot. I mean, we're 4 people across the table from different countries.
Yeah.
And we wanted to capitalize on that. We wanted to provide back to the country and society and the market as musicians, as people that are passionate about entertainment and music and events. So we thought, why don't we do something that's not just fulfilling, but also business smart. So I said, okay, where do we go from there?
You guys are like 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah,
for,
definitely.
Young musicians.
Two-man army.
Somewhere hoping to meet you guys.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
to start recording with you guys.
It's a pleasure.
And like so basically like musicians would come to you and then you will manage them and then like put them in front of the right people. Tell us about how it works.
So the way I started, it's a funny story. How did I start the whole thing? So I came from a corporate background too, but in the same time I was so passionate of discovering new talents in the city locally. So out of nowhere, one day I just started a Facebook page. And I called it Music Hunters. That was like back in 2012. And I was just, the whole thing just started as like sharing with the followers of the page what's going on in the city and even like outside UAE, the music, events, anything related, the nightlife events, musicians, rappers, so I was just doing that, and then the whole thing started. Like people started, liking the page, started meeting people, and boom, I started doing events to promote the artists that I got in contact with, or they got in contact with me, and it just took off from there. So I started managing them, giving them shows in my own events. Like I started doing a lot of events in nightclubs, or if there is a concert, so they can open for a big name art, for an A-list artist. So the thing took off from there, and I was literally like managing and running events in the same time, and working in the morning as in corporate. I'm a finance I was a private banker. Yeah. So one day it's like that's the time when we started talking, me and SQ, and I was like, I need to give this full time, and I just quit my job and I just give it the full time. And
I mean, so coming back to that question and that point, I've been rapping, mix engineering for a while, but I've never released a debut project because I didn't have the interest to. I was just working on my craft, perfecting my craft. Came to a point where, okay, we're professionals. We're passionate about this. We want to release an album, but we want to do it through the right. We want to learn the hard way and do it through the right way. Make sure our contracts are right. Make sure our publishing is on point. Make sure the promotion is on point. The marketing is on point. You see, nowadays with digital media, the label side of things is not as effective. Maybe it seems to many of the artists online right now, especially in Dubai. So we want to stick to the books, to the textbook. So I'm sort of like the pilot test for artist management.
Yeah.
And he's managing me.
Amazing. How's that going?
He's pretty tough. But because we have that chemistry, we have that understanding of each other, and we can depend on each other in terms of everything. I mean, you know what I mean? In terms of sound, in terms of graphic. He's a great graphic designer, by the way.
I didn't mention
Yeah,
that
you
because
know,
it's
you
like,
mentioned.
so this is the thing. I don't see. There is some skill sets that I have. I don't consider it like critical, but it's just needed. Everything what I was doing, so from managing, doing the graphic work, doing the videography, the photo shoots,
Great
everything.
graphic
So I needed to learn so I can do it like the way I wanted it to look or to be. So yeah, so that's.
I think
that's
that was
graphic
that was
design.
how it truly started.
Yeah.
In terms of the graphic work, that's when I'm like, I loved his graphic design work, and like.
That's amazing. Like for someone like you've got such like corporate backgrounds, but then like you have this kind of like crazy like creative side to you as well. Like and you just quit your jobs and then followed your passion and your
Yeah,
craft.
it's like
That's
I'm
amazing.
talking to my clients in the office. I'm there with my suit, and in the same time, like I was talking to him on the phone, and I'm doodling in a paper, like a graphic design for something. So it's like it was just crazy. It was crazy days, but yeah.
But don't get it twisted. I mean, we sound like, you know what I mean, like jolly and happy and bubbly and things, but in a meeting we bump heads.
Yeah.
When it's an internal
Yeah.
discussion, we bump heads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have constructive discussions. That's the way it has to be. You know what I mean?
And what about some of like the challenges that you face? Because that's like an interesting juncture. Like, yeah, obviously we're here and it's all super positive, and like we're loving hearing about all the kind of how you all got together and how you kind of formed Urbans and then what you're looking to do. But what have been the sort of stumbling blocks, and have you experienced sort of adversity on the way that has perhaps helps you?
And especially taking coronavirus into account, because you guys have launched while the pandemic is ongoing. So how has that been going?
So people have to understand that music and entertainment is a two-faced coin, right? One face is the music, the passion, what we love doing, the euphoric moments, and the other sobering side of the coin is the business side of it.
Right.
You know? We start from scratch and we start building this company, getting the contracts in place, getting the place in place. You know what I mean? Building the place, the equipment, the business plan, the website. It took us a whole year building it. We had streamlined how many events? At least three.
3, 4.
At least
right.
3, 4.
Yeah.
But the pandemic came in and we canceled the side of the events. And the most challenging part has been bringing in prospects that will carry the business through.
Yeah.
And any startup, that's the biggest challenge.
And how do you find, like, I mean, we've seen so many kind of, like, obviously the pandemic has been, has really affected people's jobs and it's changed everything. Like this 2020 is not what we thought it would be. But how, like, because you always all about sort of local talent, promoting like the region. I love the stories, and especially like yourself growing up in Abu Dhabi and like finding your craft and your passion, and then you coming from the corporate world and then following your passion that you're really keen on. Like, how have you found like the interest in the local talent, and how do you feel like you're supporting them? Like, have they been sort of quite receptive to it, even especially since COVID hit? Have you found that there's still like this appetite and there's still this like big drive for people to want to do sort of great things?
The local music scene is quite different than any other city outside UAE. It's totally different. Each artist have doing their own angle of running things, or the way how to create music, how to promote himself. They didn't have the guidance. This is one of the things that I was discussing it with SQ, and that's one of the biggest reasons Urban was there to actually guide artists, to show them like the proper way of producing music or creating quality tracks. Then and one of the things as well, give them shows. It's hard here. Like, it's one of the biggest challenges that artists, local talents, are facing in UAE and in the Middle East in general. Like, let's say UAE or Saudi Arabia, that they actually have a stage that they can stand there and have audience that they can show their music. It's not there, and that's one of the things that I was providing for the artist. And this is what we wanted to do when we were talking about the events. to do it in year 2020. Pandemic happened, and events stopped. No stages, no like we couldn't. No one can actually like perform live, and this is one of the biggest things that artists love, like performing in front of fans or even new or potential fans. It's not there. So now I was dealing with the artists that I was talking to, friends, and even with SQ, as him being the artist as well, is moving the whole thing digitally, doing the live shows in Instagram, in Facebook, and the whole angle just took that. So it was
100%.
everything was digital, and I just encouraged them not to stop whatever they were doing. Just keep pushing. And
I think one thing the pandemic has actually taught us is that, you know, you don't have to have a physical location.
100%.
Like anything and everything can be done on a digital platform.
Yeah.
And because it's so easily accessible right now, like there are so many people who are like just on their phones all the time. So you can actually leverage that to like start building your base. Like you don't.
Yeah, but from a business perspective, that's a threat.
Yeah.
Right? From a business perspective, that's a threat because expenses are being accrued, bills, rent.
Yeah.
And once musicians get comfortable, I'm a musician
Yeah.
myself, get comfortable, you have to come from a different angle. You have to come from a added value
Yeah.
service. So we came in, Urband is for modern day city life, lifestyle culture, right? Our added value is being specialists in hip hop music. That is our angle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so many different studios. There's so many different. So that's our that's where we can sort of like bargain our
Yeah.
position with the
That's
market.
awesome. And how's it going so far? Like how has the whole platform been going? How's things since, well, we're still sort of in the pandemic, but I guess, you know, as we sort of look to come out of it, how has it been? And I guess what's your sort of plan?
Honestly, I feel that musicians will always be musicians, and they will, but the appetite is like shaken. I feel it's a shaken appetite in the market with musicians. What do you feel?
I would think about it in a different way. I see the whole thing, what's going on now, is like a reset button for everyone.
So true.
So, yeah.
I believe that no matter what happens, pandemic, not pandemic, 2020 times 10. Yeah?
Yeah.
No matter what happens, as long as there's quality driven service, you'll last long in the market regardless what. I have a mic preamp where I connect my microphones into for more than 10 years. Now if I want to buy a new mic preamp, will I choose a different brand? No, I will choose the same brand
Yeah.
because it will be there 10 years from now.
Yeah.
So quality will always
Be over
over everything else, yeah.
That's so true. And it is amazing just hearing you speak, and you can hear
Yeah.
the kind of passions that you have, and like I love all of that. And it's great hearing your story and like what you're doing, and I love the reset button and how like the pandemic and it's sort of come out, and you've launched this business during this sort of crazy time.
Yeah.
But I was like interested to know, like maybe just like quickly, like you could give us a quick fire answers on your like your inspiration and your hip hop inspiration, your music inspiration. Who are the people that inspire you? This is probably like not a short question to answer.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, my role model is Dr. Dre. Yeah, Dr. Dre is definitely my role model. I relate to him so much. And in creating music, my highest benchmark are the ones that takes hours and hours and hours of building and listening and polishing. But that's it. The way I approach music is that if this song can be applied, appreciated, and listened to 10 years from now, 20 years from now, that's my approach.
Timeless.
Yes,
Yeah.
timeless music. You know, that's my approach, my strategy.
What
That's
about you?
wicked.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about you, Mohammed?
I don't know. I think the listeners will hunt me down if I say this, but music scene is actually Kanye West. A lot of people don't like him that much. Lately, I don't get, but I'm just like, I mean, because I've been following since he was just sitting in his room and just in the MPC, like making music for remember the
I'm gonna
Dipset
play
and then,
Kanye on the way back.
yeah, you feel it? Straight up. Kinda, and then how he's just like transformed from just being a beat maker and a producer to become one of the best rappers in the world. Then have his own brand, the Yeezys. Then it's just like getting married to like the kid.
And get into a million controversy.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And then now it's like having. What I heard, I don't know if it's a rumor or not, but it's running for presidency. So it's just kind of, it's just the guy is just like, he don't care. He just keep going and going and going. Whatever what people think about him, he's still going. And, he is a role model, to be honest.
Definitely is.
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
is. That's a good choice.
Yeah. Kanye West.
Yeah, we got Dr. Dre and Kanye West. Nice.
In the building.
In the building.
And what's the dream? Like, just wrapping up now, like, what is the dream for Urban? Like, where do you hope to take this concept, and what are your hopes and ambitions?
My dream is that artists and musicians from this country and from the region, MENA region, have a platform that they can develop on and take it to the world, and have other continents to have an urban, dedicated platform and keep the modern city life, culture, rotating and alive from generation on to generation. That's very important for me.
Preach, brother. Just exactly, we're sharing the same vision. It's just we want to be worldwide recognized, bringing the talent. Like we have crazy talents. We have people who can do crazy music. So we want the world to hear it, and hopefully we will be there. And walk the red carpets and receive awards for the artists and whatever that we have. Yeah. So that's it.
Well, we really hope you guys achieve whatever you've dreamed of, and
Thank you
so much for joining us. It was really lovely getting to know you guys and having this conversation, and we hope to do this again.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely. Thank you for giving us a chance. Thank you for giving us a microphone where we can voice our passions.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It was really good chatting to you and hearing how it all came together and see launching and really pushing things in such a kind of quite crazy time period, and just hearing about your background and inspiration. It's really amazing. So thanks again for coming on Sandpit Diaries.
Yes.
We got a band in the house.
Urban music.
Urban music.
Urban music.
Guys, just the last minute. So you can follow us on Instagram, urban.music. And also our website is www.urbanmusic.com. So thank you guys.
We'll list them all in the description of the podcast. And thank you for joining us, guys. It was lovely speaking with you. And see you next week.
Great. Thanks, guys.